Enzo Maresca's Reece James experiment in midfield helped Chelsea secure their slender advantage over Copenhagen as the club captain unleashed a 25-yard bolt from the blue when the visitors were struggling to impact this Conference League last 16 first leg. It was after being appointed Blues boss in the summer that Maresca watched back a few Wigan games from 2018-19. As unusual as that sounds, the reason was he wanted to see how a teenage James coped as a midfielder while on loan there. Clearly, he sees something in the 25-year-old skill set that can occasionally work in the middle, and James' strike came after Maresca made 3 halftime substitutions following a dire first half in which they failed to test Copenhagen goalkeeper Diant Ramage. Enzo Fernandez was one of those introduced and he gave the visitors a 2-goal lead. However, Copenhagen had the deficit when a straightforward set piece was headed in by Gabriel Pereira in the 80th minute, making next week's second leg at Stamford Bridge somewhat less comfortable than it could have been. History was also made here as Shimbuka became Chelsea's youngest ever starter a major European competition at the age of 17 years and 137 days. Beating the previous record set by Joel Kitamairak against Hapoel Tel Aviv in 2001. Cole Palmer and Moises Caicedo likewise started, the latter perhaps an indication that he could be rested for Leicester this Sunday, when a yellow card would see him suspended for their subsequent Premier League showdowns with Arsenal and Tottenham. Yet Caicedo was one of 3 players removed at the break after a first half which did not trouble the thermometer in the slightest, and so Christopher Nkunku, Fernandez and Levi Cole will join Marc Cucurella, who had been brought on earlier. Just 55 seconds into the restart, Cucurella cut the ball back from the left wing as James ran onto it, driving a 25-yard shot into the bottom left corner. Funny what can happen if you shoot. Chelsea's lead was nearly eradicated in the 50th minute when Copenhagen captain Victor Klesen broke behind. He beat Robert Sanchez, but not the post, as the ball bounced back into the arms of Chelsea's grateful cup goalkeeper. Chelsea took their 2-0 lead when Fernandez finished Tyreek George's setup following some energetic pressing from Cucurella. However, Copenhagen made it to 2-1 as Pereira headed home. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Manchester United kept their Europa League hopes intact and a desperate season alive with a hard-earned draw in San Sebastian, but it wasn't pretty on a tough night at the Real Arena. For days after he was in tears having had a decisive penalty saved in the FA Cup shootout against Fulham, Joshua Zirkzee fired United ahead in the second half. But the lead didn't last long as Mikel Oyarzabal leveled from the spot to make it all score going into next week's second leg at Old Trafford. United will be slight favourites after maintaining their record as the only unbeaten Champions League and Europa League team this season. But it was an unconvincing performance. There is still a long way to go before they can think about returning to Basque Country and made a play in the final in neighbouring Bilbao. After the Fulham defeat, this remains United's last chance of a trophy, the only thing preventing their season from effectively ending in March. Winning it would mean automatic qualification for the Champions League and a £100 million windfall. But first they must take care of Sociedad. There were no surprises in Ruben Amorim's lineup, largely because he had so little choice. With 10 players left at home injured and young striker Chito Obi ineligible for Europe, United had travelled with the 18-man squad. It included 2 rookie goalkeepers who were on the bench which left only 5 outfield players among the substitutes. We need to be really strong. In the beginning it will be intense and we chose the team thinking about that. Possession of the ball is important. If we have it, it's impossible to score. If we lose it in the build-up, they are really strong and fast to go to the goal. We need to improve possession. Sociedad were missing their best player in Martin Zubimendi, who is attracting a lot of interest from Arsenal, and came into the game following back-to-back defeats to Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey and Barcelona in La Liga. The latter saw the 9th-place team in Spain fail to score for the 12th time in 26 league games this season. It was United who had the first effort on goal in the 12th minute. Alejandro Garnacho, whose first goal for the club came on this ground and in this competition when United won 1-0 here in November 2022, received the ball from Rasmus Højlund as United broke and aimed a shot straight into the arms of Alex Ramiro from the edge of the box. From another break 8 minutes later, Garnacho fed Patrick Dorgu, but he lifted his effort high and wide from a similar position. Dorgu gave United a scare shortly afterwards when he went down with nobody near him, but was able to continue after treatment, which was a huge relief given the injury situation. Dalit had a chance to play in Højlund midway through the half but didn't take it, much to the annoyance of United's £72 million striker whose goal drought has now entered its 20th hour, and he made his feelings known to his teammate. "For Dalit not to see it is criminal," said former United midfielder and TNT Sports pundit Paul Scholes. While Sociedad enjoyed the Lions' share of possession in a drab first half to 61% compared to United's 39%, it was a Moram side who continued to pose the greater threat, and their best chance arrived in the 37th minute. Once again it came from a break, Casemiro picking out Dalit's run over halfway with a pass off the outside of his right boot. Dalit's first touch wasn't ideal, but he brought the ball under control and fed Garnacho on the right. The Argentina winger ran at the defenders and pulled the ball back for Xerxes on the edge of the box, who met it with a sweeping first-time finish. The shot was at the center of the goal, but Ramiro's reaction was slow and the ball flew under his body as Xerxes celebrated only his second goal in 17 games. But Sociedad were level in the 70th minute when VAR official Paul Van Boekel spotted that Fernandez had handled with his left arm as he challenged Aguerd at a corner and advised Slovakian referee Evan Kruzliak to go to the pitch side monitor. He pointed to the spot and Captain Morzabel stepped up to send Andre Onana the wrong way with Sociedad's first genuine effort on goal of the night. It could have been even worse for United when Geraldo Becker crossed to the far post in the 84th minute and fellow substitute Ori Oscarsson only had Onana to beat. But he stabbed wide under pressure from Lenny Euro. Onana then parried from Oscarsson and added time as a tired United clung on to the end. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel, thank you. A comical first half on goal from Lucas Bergvall consigned a lackluster Tottenham to a 1-0 loss away to AZ Alkmaar in the first leg of their Europa League last 16 tie. Bergvall's slice clearance from a Troy Parrott shot looped in after 18 minutes, and it proved enough to give AZ a first victory over an English side in 12 attempts. Spurs had 8 days to prepare for this fixture but produced a flat display in the Netherlands and did not register a shot on target until the 88th minute. It was a thoroughly disappointing performance from Ange Postecoglou's team, especially given this competition remains the club's last hope of silverware this term and their only chance to salvage a difficult campaign. Tottenham now have it all to do ahead of Thursday's second leg in North London. Postecoglou resisted the temptation to start fit again trio Mickey van de Ven, Christian Romero and Dominic Solanke, and the injury curse accidentally struck the hosts as Mikel Lotto was forced off after 8 minutes at AFAS Stadion. It contributed to a disjointed start, but AZ, with the first legitimate chance of the match, took the lead in bizarre fashion in the 18th minute. Pierre Koopmeiner's corner pick Dudek Spurs forward Parrott, who had a side-footed shot which Bergvall completely miscued and watched in horror as his attempted clearance looped over Jed Spence and into the net. It was an embarrassing own goal, and while Tottenham briefly responded, Parrott was involved again soon after as Archie Gray blocked his effort before Ernest Poku sent the follow-up well wide. An even better opportunity was created after 31 minutes when AZ broke after a Son Heung-min chance and Parrott was played through, but Guglielmo Vicario raced out to brilliantly deny the Republic of Ireland forward. A poorly worked short free kick by Son summed up Spurs half before the visitors survived a goalmouth scramble as James Maddison slid in to deny David Mahler-Wolf and Bergvall blocked from Koopmeiners. It remained 1-0 at halftime, but Postecoglou reacted by bringing on Wilson O'Dobbert for Matthews Tell and Tottenham's urgency improved, with Bergvall firing wide before Son blazed over. AZ remained a threat and Poku forced Vicario into another save after a dangerous cross by Mahler-Wolf. Rodrigo Bentancur was booked soon after for a late challenge on the excellent Parrott, which rules the Spurs midfielder out of next week's second leg. Chances remained at a premium for Tottenham and Postecoglou made a triple substitution with 18 minutes left, with Pedro Porro, Pape Sarr and Solanke sent on. It failed to spark a late rally and, although O'Dobbert tested Romjadon Ouzo-Oduro for the first time in the 88th minute, Spurs were dealt a fresh blow late on when Solanke limped off after he was caught by AZ's goalkeeper. Rampant Rangers found joy in the Europa League again this season with an outstanding 3-1 first leg win over Jose Mourinho host Fenerbahce in Istanbul. Barry Ferguson was drafted in as interim boss after Philippe Clement was sacked less than 2 weeks ago as a disastrous domestic season span out of control. Even though he had guided the Light Blues to 8th place in the newly revamped Europa League, that took them straight into the last 16 and, in the Sukru Sarıkoglu Stadium, the unfancied visitors were terrific. Gers striker Cyril Dessers scored after just 6 minutes before home substitute Alexander Djaku leveled on the half-hour mark following the substitution of Gers defender Robin Proper, who had needlessly clashed with his own keeper Jack Butland. Vaclav Cerny, the Czech Republic winger on loan from Wolfsburg, restored the visitors' lead in the 42nd minute, and then Dessers remarkably had the goals chalked off for narrow offside decisions early in the second half before Cerny grabbed his second in the 81st minute to seal an astonishing victory. giving real hope of making it through to the quarterfinals next week at Ibrox. There was an ear-splitting noise of whistles and boos from the home fans as the visitors, playing 5 at the back, kept early possession, then silence when Dessers struck. The Gers forward latched onto the ball at the edge of the box, with midfielder Mohamed Diomandi involved in the press, and rounded keeper Irfan Kanegar squeezed the ball over the line with defender Kagler Soyuncu's clearance too late. Morin host side, and beaten in 18 games, had stars such as Edin Dzeko and Youssef En-Nesyri in the side, and in the 18th minute the latter flashed a Philip Kostic cut back high over the bar before Butland made a great save from a Dzeko drive. Butland then headed proper in the head just outside his own box as they clumsily defended a long ball and the Dutchman had to be replaced by Leon Balogun. Rangers soon conceded with Jukic, on for Soyuncu, brilliantly hooking the ball past Butland from 8 yards after a Sebastian Szymanski corner made its way to the back post. Just before the break, Cerny broke with purpose, played a 1-2 with Dessers and slotted in a left-footed shot from 6 yards. In added time, after Nicholas Raskin had missed the target for the Govan side, returning Gers defender John Sauter bravely stuck his head in the way of a Mert Mulder thunderbolt for a corner which came to nothing. Dessers had the ball in the Fenerbahce net 6 minutes into the second half, but a VAR check ruled him offside, which gave heart to the home side and their excitable fans, as did the next goal he had chalked off minutes later, again for offside, which breathed life into the Turkish club. Mulder missed a header from close range, but Rangers retained their threat on the break, and in the 69th minute Dessers was crowded out in the box when presented with another chance. Butland had to deal with several unconvincing finishes by the Turkish outfit before Raskin sent Cerny clear, with a superb through ball, and he calmly netted to make it one of the great European nights for Rangers. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.